Hello, all you love lights.
Hello.
And happy St. Francis Day. Woo! St. Francis Day. St. Francis was the patron saint of the animals and the environment. Yeah. So we usually do a pet blessing, but now we're going to honor all the animals this Sunday. Hello. So I am kind of like St. Francis. St. Francis was known for having compassion for all animals. And I'm a pescatarian because I have compassion for all animals. If you don't know what a pescatarian is a person who eats meat, but the only meat that I eat is fish. And if I think of Nemo and Dory too much, I'll have to stop eating fish. So I can't think of it too much. But anyway, I think that cows have soulful eyes. And some people have pigs as a pet, and I wouldn't eat anybody's dog or anybody's cat. So, and when I first started being a pescatarian, which was January 1st of 2000, I didn't eat chicken because I thought it was a dirty bird and it looked kind of icky. But then I had this mystical experience with this blue-eyed chicken. So I was sitting at a stoplight in Harrison, and if you've lived in Arkansas, you've seen chicken trucks, right? And all the chickens are always terrified and squawking. And this chicken truck was the same. All these chickens were squawking and upset. And so I looked to my left, and there's this blue-eyed chicken panting in terror, looking back at me. And so I just started sending this chicken love and energy and light, and all of the chickens on the truck stopped squawking. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. That's metta, that's love, that's the Buddhist practice of loving kindness. And that is how it is said that the Buddha spoke to animals. And there's a fun story I found when I was researching for this talk about the Buddha. And it's about a person who thought if you killed the Buddha, then you become the Buddha. Kind of like if you kill a king, then you get his throne. But, that guy was delusional. But anyway, in his delusional state, he decided to send this elephant named Nagajiri, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly, to kill the Buddha. And he got Nagajiri drunk and got him afraid of the Buddha and sent him rampaging into the village after the Buddha. And people were like screaming and running out of the way of Nagajiri. They were terrified. And this little girl was in the middle of the road, and she got frozen in terror, and Nagajiri was coming right at her, and she started running away. And then the Buddha said, Nagajiri, you are not here for that girl, you are here for me. Come here. And so Nagajiri looks and starts rampaging towards the Buddha. And as Nagajiri approached the Buddha, he sent Nagajiri love and compassion. And Nagajiri ended up kneeling in front of the Buddha, and he put his hands on Nagajiri's head. Isn't that a beautiful story of the things that can happen when we honor animals? I also found a lot about Native American spiritual beliefs and animals. There's a lot of spirit animals. I saw a rabbit this morning. I'm going to have to look that up. I think it's about prosperity and all kinds of good multiplying of things. I'm gonna look up rabbit later because I saw a rabbit this morning. That was one of the animals that was speaking to me. So I invite you to look up your spirit animals when you see them out in the wild. And I have a good friend who's Native American named John Two Hawks. He and I both speak at the ORI conferences, and he told a great story that I wanted to share with you guys. He said he had a raccoon that was every night eating all the bird seed out of his bird feeder and knocking his trash over. And he was a little bit annoyed about it. And John tries really hard to not hurt any animals. He's very conscious of animals and his love for animals. But one night he said he was taking out the trash, and it was kind of late that night, and he saw the raccoon, and the raccoon, he said, was sitting there with the bird feeder in its hand, going like this, eating the bird seed. And it froze, right? Like a deer in headlights, what is this Native American man gonna do to me, right? And what happened was, he looked at the raccoon, he said, I'm not gonna hurt you, but please don't eat all the bird seed, and please don't knock over my trash can. And John went back inside, and he said after that, that there was always a little bit of birdseed left in the bird feeder, and the trash can never got knocked over again. So when we are respectful of animals and we communicate with animals, they often listen. I've had a similar experience with spiders in my house. I used to just smash them. How many people are spider smashers in here? I don't want anybody to feel like you have to never mind about that. I don't want anybody to feel like they have to confess. This isn't that kind of church. So I had this cool spider catcher tool, and I sometimes use a cup and a piece of cardboard, but I started picking them up gently and taking them outside. And as I'm going outside with them, I'm here with them in the spider catcher going, listen, dude, I'm afraid of you, you're afraid of me, I don't want to hurt you and your friends, please spread the word. And then I'll let them go. And I used to find spiders in my house almost every day, sometimes more than once a day. Now I find spiders about once or twice a month. So word got out, right? Nothing else could explain that. So I also wanted to talk a little bit about the Christian tradition and how animals are present in that. And there was a beautiful verse in the Daily Word. But also, Jesus spoke to animals on a couple of occasions. And we all know the story of Noah's Ark. When you see pictures of Noah's Ark, you don't see them like with whips and chains and cages with those animals. They're just, la la la, here we go, we're going on the boat with Noah. I think Noah had animal communication too. Yeah. So, St. Francis was known for preaching to the birds and communicating with the animals and feeling like he was connected with all life. And I love that. I feel like that I do that in my day-to-day life. So I'm wondering, am I a saint? I mean, I do miracles, and I talk to animals. Oh, I think you have to be dead for 5 years before you can be declared a saint. So maybe I'm not a saint, but am I a master? Because I, just like the Buddha and just like Jesus, know I could speak to the animals. Am I a native spirit? Because I really listen and honor the animals? I don't know, maybe I am. Maybe, just like Snow White, with the animals in the forest, maybe I'm a princess.
Don't need any apples.
Yeah, maybe I'm a princess, I don't know. I manifest parking spaces like a princess for sure. So, I am all of that, for sure. But guess what? So are you. And it's just a skill to develop, to be able to communicate with the animals. How many people here already communicate with animals? See, this is that kind of place. We're all animal communicators. But I wanted to teach you some techniques to either enhance your animal communication or to start you on a path of that. Because it's just like any other psychic ability, it's like a muscle. You just have to exercise and then the muscle gets strong, right? So, when I have lots of friends who are animal communicators, and one of the things that they talk about is that animals communicate in images instead of words. We're very wordy in the human experience. But animals communicate in images and feelings. So if you're after the animal and trying to get a picture of it or trying to hunt it, it's going to be gone, right? But if not, then it's going to be right there with you. And I just want to tell a couple of my experiences with communicating with animals so you guys can build a little bit of your faith in your psychic ability to do this. It's not that I'm all that in a bag of chips, it's that we're all that in a bunch of bags of chips, okay? So one time when I very first started working on animal communication, I was at a silent retreat at the Hermitage. And at the silent retreats that we go to, I stay in this little cabin that's out in the middle of the woods. And this happened to be a retreat in the summer, and I had the windows open, and I was sitting by myself in this little cabin meditating. And I don't know how long I had been meditating, but all of a sudden I had this inner pull to open my eyes. And I had been sending out love to the deer. Come, let me see you. I love you. Come, let me see you. I love you. And all of a sudden, when I opened my eyes, there was a young deer looking in the window at me. And I mean, it was as close as I had to Ron and Rosa. And I was just in awe, and it walked around to the next window and looked in at me. And I had this feeling I was being invited. It wasn't words. It wasn't like, you are cordially invited. No, it was a feeling. It was a pull from my heart. And so I stood up and walked over by the sliding glass door. The deer walked along the edge of the porch and looked in at me. And there was a squirrel on the porch that looked at me. And they both wandered off into the forest. So I was like, wow, this is pretty cool stuff. I like this animal communication technique. And there's other things, other tips that I'll tell you, because I was also using some of Jennifer Huff's teachings. Jennifer Huff is a mystic who I met at one of the Adirondack conferences. And she teaches at the end of our DNA, we have these sender and receiver antennae called telomeres. And telomeres, scientists know about them as if your telomere is shorter, you're older, and if it's longer, you're younger. So it's a way of kind of measuring our lifespan. But Jennifer Huff says they're also antennae. So you can program your higher self or ask your higher self to talk to the animal in the animal's language from your telomeres to their telomeres. And just with that intention, it makes the animal communication stronger. So as I'm continuing to practice and integrate all of these techniques, I'm hanging out with a friend. And we have a campfire going. He lives out in the country. We have a campfire going. And I thought I heard deer out in the forest. And I was like, ooh, I remembered what happened at the cabin. So I started singing, I love you, come let me see you. I love you, come let me see you. And then all of a sudden, this armadillo I don't know if you know about armadillos. They're nearsighted. They cannot see very far. It just beeline right at me out of the forest and stopped like 2 feet in front of me. And of course it didn't speak in words, but the concept that it said was, oh crap, you're a human. And then it ran off under the porch and hid from me. I have a friend who says every time I came to see her that there was the only time that this one woodpecker would show up. And she said that it had a crush on me, but I'm not into interspecies dating. So I never dated the woodpecker, but apparently it only showed up when I came, and I would sing back and forth with the woodpecker, just like I do on my porch with my birds and my hummingbirds. I just hang out with the animals. So maybe I am a princess, you know? But you all can do this too. So it's a lot of fun, and it's a great way to commune with nature. I look at the entire planet, all the wild animals, all the domesticated animals, they're all my pets. And they're all your pets. That's what God intended, right? Was for us to all be the caretakers of this wonderful planet and of the wonderful animals on this planet. So, have y'all seen the Avatar movie with the blue aliens? How many people have seen the Avatar movie? I love that movie. So, you know, for those of you who haven't seen the movie, they take like this ponytail thing that they have, and it connects with the animal's ponytail thing, and they hook in and they can communicate with the animals. But that's a landline. We got Wi-Fi. We got Bluetooth with our telomeres, right? So we can send back and forth without that. But if that image is helpful to you, that you're connecting with that other animal's energy, I think that also is helpful. Animals can sense our energy, and they know if we see them as an equal, or if we see them as something that we're here to dominate as the apex predator, as a human. But we are really in a symbiotic relationship with animals. Jane Goodall went and lived with the apes, and they saw her as part of their family. In the videos of her with the apes is just so beautiful to see the love that they had between them. And there's hundreds of videos and stories you can find online about either dolphins or whales saving humans, or humans saving dolphins and whales. And then anytime there's a natural disaster, I mean, people are bringing out the dawn and getting the oil off the ducks and like saving the pets, and we are here. It's like we know on some level, on some core level, that all of these animals are our pets, and that they rely on us to be their guardians and the people that love them. Now, I can tell you in all of my calling of animals, I have never once intentionally called any chicks or tiggers. That's what I call them. I call them chicks and tiggers, not ticks and chiggers, because then I can have more compassion for them, because chicks are cute little chickens and tiggers are bouncy, bouncy, fun, 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 right? But who likes ticks and chiggers? I mean, raise your hand if you love ticks and chiggers. Okay, just so the camera knows, nobody raised their hand. No, I did.
I saw one out here.
Somebody loves ticks and chiggers? How is that? How about, okay, I'm starting to believe the apocalypse has arrived because there is such a plague of mosquitoes lately. Who loves mosquitoes? Anybody love mosquitoes? So as I've been putting together this talk, I've had a journey with the mosquitoes. Ugh. Not the journey that I wanted. I have itchy spots. But one thing I've noticed is I was watching this mosquito, because I don't love the mosquitoes, and I killed them. I actually got a tennis racket bug zapper so I could like, zzz. It's so fun.
Apex predator.
I am an apex predator with my zapper racket. Okay, but this is what I noticed as I've been like trying to work through this icky feeling I have in my heart for the mosquitoes. I was watching this mosquito and it disappeared and then reappeared somewhere else. And that happens almost every time I go to smash them. They're like disappearing, and they're like not on my hands. Somehow they have this mystical power. And their wings are kind of fairy-like. So what if they are nature's evolution of fairies? Fairies had to get like really small, and they have to survive somehow. I don't know. My brain is kind of weird, so I'm trying to find ways to love the mosquitoes.
They're hungry.
They're hungry, I know, but I don't want them to eat my blood, right? And I don't want to catch any diseases from them. And maybe when I smash them in the future, I can smash them with love. I can honor that I am taking a life here. I'm taking a life that I don't want to have an itchy spot on my knee because of. But even if I'm going to smash the mosquito, what if I smash it consciously and with love? And send it to the next realm with love.
Yes. I like that.
Yeah. So, would you guys like to bring all of this inward in a meditation? I'm going to ask my musicians to come help me. We're going to do a loving kindness meditation. That's a Buddhist practice. There will be words to the song up on the screen. There will not be words to the song up on the screen. So that's okay, because a lot of people here know this song, and we're going to sing this song 4 times. It's a song that Reverend Annette wrote. And we'll start off with May I Always Be Happy, and then we're going to do 2 rounds of May You Always Be Happy, and then the last round is going to be May All Beings Be Happy. And you can follow along. You can either just listen and meditate, or if you know the song and you want to sing along, but sing with your heart if you're not singing out loud. And everybody gets to close their eyes if you want to, since there's no words up on the screen for this song. And just start focusing on your breathing, because that's where we always start when we're meditating, right? We get centered in our heart, where the breath is, and where we find inspiration. And so with loving kindness meditations, with metta meditations, we always start off with self-love. But because today is about the animals, I'd like you to call up in your mind the image of you and a beloved pet. This could be a pet that you currently have. It could be more than one pet. It could be a pet from the past, or maybe even a pet from the future. But I want you to call up an image of a beloved pet as we all sing together to ourselves. May I always be happy. May I always be well. May I always be free. that into your heart, that love for yourself and that love that you have for this beloved pet. And next, we're going to move to an animal that we love, but an animal that lives out in the wild. An animal that maybe when you think of them, they give you a sense of awe. Or maybe it's your spirit animal, your spirit guide. But when you get that image of an animal that you really admire and love, that's in the wild, please sing with me. May you always be happy. May you always be well. May you always be free. And may you always live in peace. This is my prayer. This is my prayer. Right here, right now. Next, we're going to call up the image of an animal that's difficult to love. Maybe it's an animal that society has labeled as a pest, or an animal that keeps stealing vegetables from your garden or flowers from your flower bed. Maybe it's the ants that are getting in your kitchen. But I want you to call up an animal that's difficult to love, and I want you to see an image of this animal in your mind as we all sing together. May you always be happy. May you always be well. May you always be free. And may you always live in peace. This is my prayer. This is my prayer. Right here, right now. We're going to have one last round of this meta meditation, bringing this love into our hearts and fully filling up with this love. We're going to send love to the whole planet. So imagine as if you are out in space looking at this beautiful blue ball that we call Earth, that we call home. And I want you to think of all the animals of the mountains and the valleys, and the animals of the forests and the seas, the animals of the lakes and the rivers and the skies, and the animals that are sitting right here, the human animal, all across the planet, all of these animals and their habitats. They need our love. They need our compassion. So we're going to sing, May All Beings Be Happy. This is our prayer in this next final round. May all beings be happy. May all beings be well. May all beings be free. And may all beings live in peace. This is our prayer. This is our prayer. Right here, right now. So feel the love as it's coming in from us. As we're in two different places, our higher selves in outer space, we are here in our human experience. Feel that love coming in. It's here for each and every one of you. I'm going to have you breathe that in. Take one more deep cleansing breath. And at the end of the out breath, you can open your eyes. How does that feel? Notice how you feel. Yeah. So I usually bring dog and cat treats for people to bring home to their pets. But in the light of this being a worldwide pet sanctuary celebration, me and the Earth Care team, actually some people from the Earth Care team really put this together. It was just my brainchild. I'd like to thank everybody who helped with this. Can you stand up if you helped with this project? Catherine, Bruce, and Della, and Peggy. They all brought these bags. When you come up to give your donation today, I want you, and even if you're not giving a donation, you come put love in the basket and get your bag, which has birdseed, deer corn, and an apple. And your assignment this week is to take this bag somewhere in nature, and I want you to feed your pets, feed our pets, and send them some energy and some love, because they need to be fed by our love as much as by the nourishment that we're bringing them. And as you go and do this, I want you to realize that you are a Native American spirit, that you are a saint, and that you are a master.
And a princess?
And a princess, yes. I almost forgot the princess. Thank you, Peggy. You can't forget the princess. You can be a princess, or if you want, you can be a prince. Whatever you want to be, that's okay. So I want you to go out with this in mind and in your heart and give this nourishment to an animal somewhere in nature. Just leave it for them. And just walk away knowing that you have made a difference. Thank you so much. Namaste.